What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about one of the most iconic anime series of all time, Dragon Ball Z.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Please don't do this. Mike, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, unfortunately I do, Walter.
Now, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Sho, and I do a lot of anime videos on the channel. So if you like this kind of content, let me know down below. If you like the style of video, let me know down below. And enjoy the video. So, as someone who always grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, I often hear people asking one simple question. Is Dragon Ball Z actually a good anime or not? So in this video, I want to kind of explore that question and take a little bit of in-depth, not really deep research, and give you basically my thoughts and opinions on whether I feel like the series is just good without nostalgia. Obviously, we can't take out nostalgia all the way because, I mean, it's Dragon Ball. Okay, so background on Dragon Ball Z. First, let's start with some background information. Dragon Ball Z is a Japanese anime series, obviously anime, that originally aired from 1989 to 1996. The show was created by Akira Toriyama. I had to kind of slow down and say that name because I knew I was going to mess it up. It is also a sequel to the original Dragon Ball series. It follows the adventures of Goku and his friends. Now, in all seriousness though, let's talk about Dragon Ball for just a second. Because, yeah, while I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z, I do think Dragon Ball should be counted in that. I really did enjoy Dragon Ball. I watched it years later, like in my adult years. So I never really watched it back then. If I watched it back then, I probably would have really loved it. The crazy thing about it for me is that I feel like it's actually really good. I feel like it strips away a lot of the problems with Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, the pacing is not that great there also because it was an anime that came out even before the bad pacing known as Dragon Ball Z. But I don't know. I gotta say, I really love Dragon Ball. Like, I don't know what possessed me to watch it one day, but as soon as I started watching it, I couldn't put it away. I honestly thought I would hate kind of going back and watching it all the way over again. When I was young, I had a VCR tape of like one of the movies, I think from Dragon Ball Z back then, and they helped a lot for me wanting to go back and watch it. But I just wanted to say it's a really good series. I definitely think you should check it out. It's a lot more grounded and down to earth than Dragon Ball Z with all the aliens and the flying and space brothers. Now, the show has had a huge impact on the anime industry, obviously. It has inspired countless other series. You may see references of Dragon Ball Z everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. It's known for epic battles, like amazing characters. I'm not saying like the character development is on 10, but they're enjoyable, fun to watch, and you basically will recognize it from anywhere. Alright, so let's talk about a couple of pros and cons when dealing with Dragon Ball Z. So, as a pro, Dragon Ball Z is a classic shonen anime, meaning it's targeted towards a male audience. It's focused on action and adventure. So if you're basically a big old meathead anime fan, then that's what you love, man. I'm not gonna lie. Not everybody watches anime for deep stories and, you know, deep philosophies. Some people just want to watch people beat each other up. And I mean, if you want to just watch people beat each other up, what can you look at besides Dragon Ball Z? I mean, boy, does it deliver on that front. The show is known for its epic battles that involve martial arts, a lot of yelling, and a lot of blast type superpowers. The characters in Dragon Ball Z are also iconic. That's another pro. Like Goku and Vegeta, even Piccolo and Krillin. Like the cast of characters is so diverse and so interesting. And the villains are some of the most iconic villains in the entire anime history. I mean, you got Frieza, Cell, and Boo. These villains have been known in anime power discussions for forever. Frieza is a legendary villain. Cell's a legendary villain. And even Boo is a legendary villain. So they all spawn from this legendary show. What really sets Dragon Ball Z apart from other shonen anime is the emotional depth. The show explores themes like friendship, family, and sacrifice, and has some of the truly most touching moments that would leave me in tears. No, I'm just lying. I'm just joking. It's really just about punching each other. Let's talk about some of the cons of Dragon Ball Z. Of course, no show is perfect, and Dragon Ball Z definitely has its fair share of cons. One of the biggest criticisms of the show is what I mentioned earlier, is the pacing. The pacing of Dragon Ball Z is horrible. Some fights can drag on for multiple episodes, and there are a lot of filler episodes that really don't add anything to the overall story. I must say though, I don't know why, I do hate filler like every anime elitist, but for some reason I love Dragon Ball fillers. Like I love Gohan going to play baseball and stuff. Like I feel like it was just like a way to cool down after like the cell fight or whatever. I really do actually like those fillers. Don't kill me. Another criticism of the show is that it relies too heavily on power-ups and transformations. While these can be exciting to watch at first, it gets kind of repetitive if you feel like the show is just trying to one-up itself constantly. Like, I mean, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you definitely know what I'm talking about. You have Super Saiyan. You have Super Saiyan 2. You have Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 2 was really just for Gohan to get his moment. Super Saiyan 3 was really just for Goku to steal the moment from everybody else in the saga that he wasn't even supposed to be a part of. You got, if you want to go to GT, you got Super Saiyan 4. That was just awesome. That was the best thing out of GT. We don't talk about GT. I do actually like GT though. I'm a bad Dragon Ball Z fan. But it's like, I mean, are we ever going to get to a point where we don't have to worry about a new villain coming in and it's the same plot line? New villain comes in. Main character gets strong, but not strong enough. Main character gets defeated. Main character unlocks a powerful transformation that fixes everything. Main character wins. That's pretty much the story of Dragon Ball Z. And at this point, I mean, we're not really looking at Dragon Ball Z for the story. It's still one of the biggest animes out there, even though its flaws is in pacing and character development and story and emotional setting. I don't know. In conclusion, I would say that Dragon Ball Z is a good anime. It's a classic series. It's had an impact on the anime industry like no one has ever seen before, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of meathead action anime. While it's not perfect, it truly has some of the most iconic moments and characters that will stick with you for a long time after you finish watching. That's pretty much it for this video though. I hope I've been able to answer the question in a short fashion, whether Dragon Ball Z is a good anime or not. If you have any thoughts and opinions on the show, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more anime related content. I will say, I could have been a lot more brutal on Dragon Ball Z, if I'm being honest. I really could have. And I could have really bigged up a lot more, but I wanted to take more of the middle ground because I do like it. I think it's an interesting show. I think it's good enough that I watch the show over maybe like every 2 or 3 years. I may watch all the show, just all Dragon Ball Z, just kind of run through it. It's interesting to watch to a certain extent. Obviously they got Kai out, which helps with a little bit of the pacing and stuff. So, you know, if that's really what you want to go into, then go for that. But with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Plus subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.
What the? Wait, hold on. Who are you guys? Well, anyway, make sure you take care of yourselves. Later.
Yare yare だぜ